Hey, baseball fan, time for a little self-care and a few minutes of cardboard meditation. Welcome to the show that features some of baseball's oddest stories and the cardboard slabs that document them. Find peace and joy through baseball cards with your host, the big guy.
Oh, good morning to you. I'm the big guy. This is Cardboard Meditation. Just a little introspection here with some really cool cards all around me. This one is really nice. It's an acetate card, and I probably have shown off more acetate cards than you're really wanting to see. But it's a Pat Burrell card. Good player for the Phillies. I just love this card. It's just beautiful. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. You know, I've seen a lot of people doing this T.T.M thing. And, you know, it's not a new thing. It's something that I was doing in the 1970s and early 80s. When I got to the middle 90s, I wasn't really doing a lot of it until I found the 1996 Fleer cards. There's not many. I didn't do many. I kind of just lost my passion for that. But the 1996 Fleer, if you remember, they're a card that has a matte finish. It's not glossy. In each pack, you'll get a glossy card, much like a Tiffany type card. That's just one with a silver print on it. And then the rest of the set is this matte finish card with gold lettering on it. And when I first saw these, I thought they were beautiful. I thought it's simplistic. They've gone back in time to create a better product. And I want to show you these real quick. And then I'm going to show you a lot of the cards that I got through T.T.M, and I'm going to tell you how I got them. Yeah, they were through the mail, but a little bit different than the way people are doing it today. Here's Chimera Barty, the late Chimera Barty. You'll notice it's just a flat surface, but man, is it beautiful. There's no smearing. You know how they'll smear on a glossy card. Here's another Tiger, John Flaherty. Not Jack Flaherty, you know, the guy that's pitching for him now. I think that's a great card too. Again, that matte finish really shows up the autograph. And here's Wally Joyner, who eventually played for the Tigers at the end of his career. Here he is with the Pods. I love this card. I think I've got 2 or 3 more of these that I sent out. Like I said, I kind of lost my passion for them, but I just wanted to see what the autographs look like on them. And I thought they looked really good. And I wanted to just let that you know, because if you're doing T.T.M and you want something special, something different, and there are players that you are looking at that are in that middle 1990s era, you might want to look at some of these singles. There's a lot of great photography. Like I said, the surface just lends itself to nice autographs. So just wanted to show you those. And now I'd like to show you a book that I have. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. It's just an old notebook that I had way back then, and it's packed full of T.T.Ms, and some of them that I got in person, and some that I purchased along the way. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you these, and I'll try to be as quick as I can, because I don't think you want to sit around for all of these. But some of them are pretty interesting, and I would love to show them to you. Okay. Here is my notebook on a lot of the T.T.M cards that I sent out back in the 70s and early 80s. These two at the top here, this Tom Seaver 69 and 76, were not T.T.M. There's something I picked up at a card show back in, I guess, maybe 1981, 1980, perhaps. And the Rob Picholo is. And I was one of those guys that, hey, I got this guy, I got his address and I could send him cards, and so I sent like 6 of them. He signed them all. I learned early on that you probably shouldn't do that. Send 2, maybe 3 at the most. But here's the deal. Back then, nobody charged a fee. You just sent them there and hoped they sent them back. Yeah, that's how it worked. I know now a lot of fees are being charged, but back in the day, you would send them to the house if you had the number. And I had Picholo. You can see him here and here. I had his home address, and I sent them. And he sent them all back. I have since given some away to some friends, but that's how we did it back then. But that's not the best way to have done it back then. Let me show you a couple more of these. Here's some Phil Regan cards that I got at a card show up in Grand Haven, Michigan. He was the coach for, I think, Aquinas College, I think, that's up that way. And he was signing autographs. Here's one, Gary Carter. Now, here's how I got the Gary Carter autograph. You ready for this? This is the way we used to do it. You would send your cards, no more than 2 at a time, to the stadium in care of Gary Carter. And Gary would get them, sign them, send them back. Sometimes it would take a month. I think I have a card in here that took 10 years. I did, and I'm going to show that to you. This Wade Boggs card obviously is not an old one. I got that online. This Rod Carew card, you can see him signed it in red up the side. Got that back at the same time I got those Tom Seaver cards that I showed you at a card show. Okay, here's Eric King. A lot of Tigers in here, and if you're not a Tiger fan, I apologize, but that's Eric King. Got those, like I said, sent them to the ballpark. He signed them and sent them back. And again, there was no fees for those. Same with the Kevin Setzer card. Rob Deere was the same way. Sean Dunston cards as well, and Kurt Stillwell. Chili Davis, which was one of my favorites. Mike Aldretti. Again, I sent them to the park, and they sent them back. And I'm sorry about my finger. It keeps showing up in there. Charlie Maxwell, who just passed away. That's a in-person card. Rick Leach, I got in person at a mall show. The Duke Snyder card was something I purchased online. I just think that's a great card. And a friend of mine got the Dwight Gooden card in person down in Tampa, way back in 1985. Okay, Ron Say sent this card to Dodger Stadium. Ron sent it back, signed. I purchased this Trammell card. And this Bob James card was something that was sent to the stadium. But at the time, he was not playing for Montreal. I think he was, goodness gracious, I can't remember now. But anyway, he signed that card. Kurt Ford. I've seen this. I haven't seen it in a long time. Kurt was ambidextrous, and he could sign his name with either hand. And I was trying to get him to do that, but he kind of ignored my note. But he did sign the cards and sent them back. I kind of wanted to get both signatures from each hand, but it didn't happen. Greg Swindell, again, sent it to the stadium. Tim Raines sent to the stadium. Swindell up there again. Andre Dawson, who was a prolific signer, just prolific signer, signed anything you sent to him at the stadium. I've got 2 beautiful examples right there. Bruce Fields, which is really not Bruce Fields. And sorry about that. I just have to figure out how to do this the right way. Who is that really? Is that Skeeter Barnes or somebody? But anyway, Bruce signed it. Buddy Biancalana signed him at the stadium. Frank Viola, look at this beautiful Eric Davis. I just sent it to the stadium. They signed it, sent it back. You'll see that there's usually 2 cards of each because I always used to send 2 cards. Johnny Grubb was the same way. Sent it to the stadium. Now, this is an interesting story. I sent Vince Coleman 2 cards, and they were just the cheap cards from Topps. And they weren't as good as these. These are the Fleer cards. The Fleer cards looked a lot nicer. And I sent him 2 Topps cards to sign and send back. And he sent me the Fleer cards. I think I got somebody else's cards. Imagine how disappointed they were when they got the kind of ugly Topps ones. Sometimes you win. Mark Thurman, the late Dave Bergman there, again, sent them to the stadium. Everything you see on this page was sent to the stadium. Everything, including those guys, or those cards. Bo Jackson. Sent it back. In fact, I'll show you a card that came with this. They came with both of these, but it came with that card there. I just thought was really unique. All right, this whole top line were cards that I have purchased online. I did not send those to the stadium. And same with these. I never sent these out. These were purchased online. Darrell Evans was sent to the stadium. So was Joe Carter. And the Joe Garagiola one is bought online. Squilber Wood is from a card show that he was attending, and they made up the baseball cards for him to sign if somebody didn't have one, and I just thought that was pretty cool. Got to find more of those. I just enjoy those. Here is Corey Snyder. I love Corey Snyder. I've got several autographs. The first one here, the 86 and the 85 I had signed through the mail at the stadium. And then this other one that came in a lot that I had from some other place that I purchased. Johnny Grubb, again, through the mail. Would you believe I got Tony Gwynn through the mail? Look at that card. It's his rookie card. Again, Johnny Grubb and John McNamara. We got McNamara through the mail back in the day. Cal Daniels through the mail at the stadium. All of these were through the mail at the stadium. The Willie Hernandez is not. The Willie Hernandez came from my wife's grandfather, who used to go down to watch the Tigers every year. And I think 87 or 88, he went down with a handful of baseball cards and got a lot of signatures. And when he passed away, they all came to me. They all came to me in a big group, and I just went through and said, Willie Hernandez, he didn't sign very often back in those days. So I was very lucky to get that and put it in my set, or my collection. And knowing that it came from my wife's grandfather was a cool thing. All right, the Norm Cash card I got in person. And I was like one of the first people. I was setting up at a show. I was a dealer, setting up at a show, and they were signing. He was the signer at the show, and so they had him like in a little tent inside the building. It was really cool. And anybody that was a dealer got to go up and get an autograph with him, absolutely free. They were obviously costing other people money, but I got mine free. So I was the first person, because I was the first person at the starting of the line where the tables were sitting. That's where my table was. So they said, hey, you can go see Norm. I went in, and Norm was just getting ready. He was putting all of his stuff down. He put his 68 World Series ring on the table, and he had a cup of coffee there, and he had just finished up all of his coffee, and he was sitting down putting his sport jacket on the back of his chair, and trying to think of the guy's name that was the promoter. He was a well-known Detroit Free Press. I can see his face. I can't think of his name. He put on a lot of shows, a lot of good shows, and he was talking to Norm. He goes, "Hey, Norm, do you need another coffee or something, an orange juice?" And Norm goes, "Only if you can get some vodka in that orange juice." It was starting pretty early for old Norm. And I said, "Oh, that's a beautiful World Series ring." And he goes, "Yeah, go ahead and put it on." So I put it on as far as I could get it on my little tiny pinky. And I just thought, I am wearing Norm Cash's World Series ring. That was pretty cool. Did that with Brooks Robinson, too. Bill Doran, and let's see who else is here. Just Bill Doran. Bill Doran is through the mail at the stadium. All these others are in person. Frank Tanana, John Hiller. Frank Tanana is just a nice guy. And so is John Hiller, but I was just surprised. Here are some more at the stadium. You know what? That Mickey Stanley was not at the stadium. That was in person. Kemp was through the stadium. The Omar Infante is something I got online, and I love this Don Baylor. It's written in silver. I did not get that through the mail. I saw it online. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that silver signature. Tommy Brookins and Mike Heath were both online or through the mail at the stadium. So was Joe Carter and Brett Butler. And believe it or not, so was Roger Clemens. I remember watching him pitch. I think it was against the Tigers, and he just dominated. And he was a young kid back then. And I said, wow, I have his card. I went, thumbed through it, found it, stuck it in the mail, and he sent it back like within a week, 2 weeks. I was so excited. Bill Buckner's autograph and Danny Tartable both through the mail at the stadium. The Rizzuto card I picked up online. All three of these through the mail at the stadium. All right, John Warden was not. I bought that online. He was just. Well, I'll tell you what. Make sure you're watching the Al Kaline special that's coming up in December with me, and you'll be introduced to John Warden. It's Jake Wood. He was the first black player that the Tigers signed. Got that through the mail. Larry LeGros through the mail. Scott McGregor, I put. Larry LeGros was not through the mail. That was through online. McGregor was through the mail. Harvey Keene I got online. This Steve Garvey I got from a friend, and I just enjoyed all the time I see it. It makes me think of him giving me the card. Sonny Siebert, again, I bought that through the mail. Bought that online. Johnny Ray, Mark Langston, and Rick Shue are all through going to the stadium, as are these three. Nope, these two. Mel Hall, who I should probably take out of here, that scumbag. Ruben Sierra was through the mail. Willie, I got this Willie at a signing and got to meet him. He's a wonderful guy. Don Money I bought online. This Mark McGwire card, I sent it through the mail, and he signed it and sent it back. 1987 is when that happened. Todd Worrell. Brooks Robinson, I met in person, got to put his World Series ring on. Henneman, Noakes, and Henneman and Noakes were both through the mail. The John Smoltz card I got, he appeared at a mall just after he got traded, after he got sent to Atlanta for Doyle Alexander. He came back because he's from Michigan, he's from Lansing, and he was signing some signatures out there, so I got his autograph. Andre Rison played for Michigan State and was part of a charity thing that I was part of too, and got to walk in and say, "Hey, Andre, can you sign this for me?" And he just looked at me kind of weird and signed it and walked on. So he was not impressed with me. Randy Nossick through the mail. Petrie was at a mall show, and so was Eddie Brinkman. Now these are every one of them except for the very last one were through the mail. This is how we used to get them. We'd send them to the stadium, and these guys would sign them. Now this David Need card and the Joe Charbonneau, those are the two I just purchased online. And there's George Foster. Buck Martinez. Kyle Lewis. These are those mini cards. These are the cards that when you got them signed, they just, the glossiness of the card just wouldn't hold up. Now these were all sent through the mail. I'm actually looking through the other cards there, the blank pages, so that's why you see the Lions guy showing up here. These were all through the mail to the stadium. Paul Molitor was not. I bought that along with the Gaylord Perry and the Bobby Doerr. All three of those cards I bought online. Mel Farr I purchased online. Goose Gossage I got through the mail to the stadium. The Mike Mussina I bought in a lot. It was in the same lot with this Gary Templeton, who, by the way, was a very good hitter. Tommy John, I just actually purchased that within the last month. I just wanted that in my collection. There's Don Money. I purchased that online, and along with Dwight Evans. Everything you see here was purchased online. Yes, as were these. And these are something I see. If I see these online, I like to bid on them. I think they're kind of neat. I'm starting to become a fan of the card. I kind of want to just collect the card. They're real cheap. But no, I did not get these through the mail. This I got through the mail. All three of those. Oh, that's a blank page. All three of the ones across the top. Those were through the mail. I love John McNamara's autograph there. That's a high number card, by the way. These two cards, the Ralph Houck I bought online, and this Hank Aaron card took 10 years to get back to me. I sent him a card through the mail to his house because I had his home address. And then it never came back and I forgot about it. I can't tell you the year that was, but I had gotten married since then, was living in another house, and my mom called me and said, "Hey, you've got some mail here at the house. It looks like your handwriting." And I thought, what the heck is she talking about? So I stopped over there, picked it up, ripped it open, and spilled this card with no explanation. It was 10 years later. I'm not complaining. It's my favorite card. Okay, we got down to the end here. These are some of the things that got sent back when you get autographs. Ted Kluszewski would always send this card back when you sent a card to him. Frank Tanana would send this, which was a pamphlet. I'll flip it over and you can see it. Paul Ossenmacher, when you were getting a signature from him, he would give you this for free. You can see right here, this is signed by Frank with a biblical reference. This would be sent back from Sean Dunston in your packet. That wouldn't. I just like Lou Whitaker. Here's the letter that Corey Snyder wrote to me. He said, "Here are your signed cards, which you sent me. Thank you for the interest in my future. Best wishes to you and your family. Sincerely, Corey Snyder." I was a fan for life after I got that letter. He went out of his way to just do that. That was just wonderful. This card, and I'm going to flip this around. I hope it kind of looks, you can read it. This card was in with those Bo Jackson autographs. There's a kind of a crease in it here because he just folded that and stuck it in there. It's not a real autograph. It's just a boilerplate kind of thank you card, but I still thought it was cool. So I just put it in here and enjoy this all the time. Now I'm just going to show you this last page here because I was collecting minor league cards too, and I did the exact same thing to a lot of these. Now this was done through the packages. This was available in packages. Derek Gibson, Chad Hermanson, Rolando Arroyo, Buchanan, I can't think of his first name, Frank Catalanato. Those were all through the mail. I sent them to the minor league stadiums and they signed them. And I did that to an awful lot of minor leaguers. Some of these are parts of, they signed them through the mail, or they signed them through the packs, like Homer Bush and David Borkowski, who later played for the Tigers, but he played for the West Michigan Whitecaps, who are a Tiger organization. But this picture was taken at the stadium I always go to in Battle Creek, C.O. Brown Stadium. So when he was there, they took the pictures for the card, and I was just very excited. Hey, that's the stadium we go to watch the Michigan Battle Cats, and that was pretty cool. Anyway, I won't show you all of these. Some of these guys you've never heard of before, but that's it. That's the kind of TTMing I was doing way back in the day. It's too bad you can't do that anymore. Maybe you can. Has anybody tried it? Has anybody tried sending them to the stadium to see if they'll sign and send them back? Somebody should. Well, that's it. Thank you for coming in and checking things out and indulging me with your presence and letting me share something that I thought was a lot of fun when I was doing it along the way. And I know a lot of people do now with the TTM stuff. Thank you very much. And we will have something else coming up. I've got some videos coming up about pitchers. I've got some information about pitchers. I hope you're going to stick around for those when you see them coming up on YouTube. Can you do me a favor? Can you give me a little like? Can you go ahead and comment? I love comments. And can you go ahead and perhaps subscribe? I knew you would. All right. Talk soon.
Cardboard meditation helps set your mind right. Thank you for watching. Show us your appreciation by clicking the like and subscribe button. Ring the bell while you're at it so you'll know when we upload a new story.